Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. I'm Steve, and thanks for coming back to my channel yet one more week. Last week I was 2-2. I got my first and second pick, and my third and fourth pick not so great. There's the stats I'm doing. Actually, my second pick is actually doing like 80%, which is pretty good. I'm still over 500, so that's all that counts. All right, let's see. I want to talk the NFL this year. There's like three tiers. You got your bad teams like Jets, Raiders, Bucks. You put that in the lower tier. In the higher echelon, you got the Patriots, Broncos, Arizona, Detroit, and some other teams. But then you got these middle teams like Pittsburgh, who can go 2 games, beat some great teams like the Colts, and 12 touchdowns in 2 games, 800 yards, and then go to the Jets, who hasn't won a game since week 1, and that was only to Oakland, and basically almost get shut out. If it wasn't for garbage time, they wouldn't even have any points just about. I think they scored 3 points not in garbage time. Yeah, it's just dumbfounded how teams could just, like San Diego's another one, but then you gotta calculate like the Bengals or San Diego. Now they're doing great. Now is it because of injuries they're going downhill, or are they just up and down like Pittsburgh? So that's what we're trying to figure out. So hopefully I got some good picks this week. A little about the Lions. Lions did cover the spread. I was this close a bit. I did bet them, but it's this close. I'm picking them last week in my picks, but I didn't. It was only 1 point difference. Yeah, they travel to Arizona next week. Carson Palmer, their starting quarterback for Arizona, torn his ACL. He's out for the year. Stanton, their backup? He was almost as good as Carson Palmer. So it gives Detroit just a little bit of an edge. Now I was going to pick them for my upset pick this week, but everybody's, oh, you're a homer, so yeah, you gotta believe that. You're just picking them for the Lions. And this is the first time I've seen the Lions not favored since like week 4 against Green Bay at Green Bay. So it tells you how much talent Detroit has. They're always favored. So this is the second time in 2 years I've seen Detroit not favored. And I know they're probably not going to get favored next week as well in New England, even though we usually play them pretty well. And of course we still got at Green Bay again this year. But it tells you how much talent we got, and the Lions always are favored, and it's a great team. But enough about them. Let's start the picks. I don't want to talk too much or blab too much and put you to sleep. So let's get those picks rolling. My upset pick this week, I got Minnesota traveling to Chicago. Chicago, no defense. They're just horrible. Now, Minnesota, believe it or not, are like top 10 defense, I'd say, maybe 10, 12, somewhere in the area. They're up there. They got a great defense going on for them. Minnesota, the only downfall is their offense isn't, producing as much. So you'll see them in low-scoring games because their defense is holding up, but their offense is struggling. Now, in the case for Chicago, they have no defense. So the last time Minnesota played a no-defensive team like Atlanta, they did great. They scored a lot of points and just shut them down because Atlanta's offense couldn't score against their defense, and their defense had nothing to shut down Minnesota's offense. Now I know they're waiting for the Adrian Peterson thing. I don't think he's coming back this week, but this should be an easy game for Minnesota, and you're getting 4 points. So I don't believe in Jay Cutler or that offense, so I'm taking Minnesota +4. My third pick of the week, I got Seattle traveling to Kansas City. Now, Kansas City's been playing great at home. The great stands filling up, the whole heave-ho chop and everything. But Seattle, if it wasn't for Giants blowing that lead dramatically in the fourth quarter, they could have won that game. But that's another story. But Kansas City, they have a better defense and a better offense, and they're both run. I expect to see a low total in this game. Run on both teams, but Kansas City at home, and it's only a 1-point spread, so I'm taking Kansas City -1. My number 2 pick of the week is San Francisco traveling at New York Giants. Now, last week I did pick the Giants, and a good friend of mine, an engineer at work, he's a big Giants fan, follows everybody in the Giants. And I went against his pick last week and picked the Giants. I said, watch, they'll come close to Seattle. That's why I think Seattle's not doing so well. He said, you don't know my Giants. I don't care if it's 20 points. I still wouldn't pick the Giants. And I picked them, and I thought I had it. And then they lost at the end. But this week, I asked him, I go, who's going to win this week? San Francisco or Giants? I said, Giants are at home. He said, no, they'll lose by 30. Kaepernick's going to look like the next Joe Montana. I said, why are you doing that? Why? This is your team, the Giants. He said, oh, when they fail, they fall off the edge. He said last week they took 2 running backs off the practice squad, and both of them got injured in the Seattle game. So he don't even know who's going to be the running back for this week. So that just put me over the edge. I'm definitely taking San Francisco. They look great against New Orleans. I know they got a lot of travel time. New Orleans back to San Francisco to New York. That can wear down the team, but as bad as the Giants have been playing, and they don't even know who half their starters are going to be this week with all the injuries from last week, I'm taking San Francisco -4. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got Philadelphia traveling to Green Bay. I'm riding that high horse on Green Bay. I think they're doing great, especially when they're trailing in the division. They play twice as well. Just because they want to keep up with Detroit, and they won't stop until they do that. Philadelphia, Mark Sanchez, he played great on Monday night, but Carolina looks so bad. And I can't believe I fell for someone picking the Carolina team. Oh, they are horrible. But yeah, Carolina, they fumbled or turned the ball over 3-4 times. He had 9 sacks on him. You know, and this was a team whose defense is pretty much depleted with the Eagles. Now Green Bay's defense isn't all that great as well. So this is a pretty evenly matched team. I expect to see a high-ranking score. But I see Green Bay's 5.5 points. No one's just stopped Green Bay in the last this year in Green Bay, so it's a lock. Pick Green Bay over the Eagles, 5.5 points. Thanks for stopping by this week. Check out the links below. We got more prognosticators in our, and we also got a Facebook that we always come to chat to. I see more and more people coming. It's a great experience. You're sitting there just chatting away. I'll chat away on my iPad and watch the games on several TVs. It's a great experience. So check us out. I'll see you next week. Peace. I also got subscribers, or